better and better every time I see you. Yeah, that's what you really look great. How are you? I didn't see you at the gym, but I think I went a little later. Today you were late. Marcos is there.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah, I know.
I see him more than I see my girlfriend.
Perfect.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is wonderful to be here together this evening to welcome Shabbat, to welcome our scholar and artist in residence for this weekend, Isaac and Rabbi Shana Brinjagard Bialik. I've been practicing. Thank you. And also to welcome Cantor Roger, who is over here, who is going to be leading the service with me this evening. We are very excited that you are here as well as Cantor Barash continues his sabbatical. We are going to begin our service tonight with Hine Ma Tov on the top of page 128.
Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לילה 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 לילה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לילה 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 לילה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
We We'll continue now, turning to page 121 and 120, and turning to Ruth and Pam Treisman to lead us in candlelighting and Kiddush.
As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'yahavahu v'ratzon, v'chilanu. Zikaron l'maaseh Bereshit, ki hu yom tefillah l'mikrei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol Shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mikadesh hashabbat. L'chaim.
We're going to continue with Lechuna Ranana, which is on page 130.
I hope you'll join with me once you get the hang of this melody. It may be new for some of you. Lechuna Ranana, l'Adonai Nariah, Litzur Yishenu. Litzur Yishenu together. Lechuna Ranana, l'Adonai Nariah, Litzur Yishenu, Litzur Yishenu, Nikad Mafanav, Betoda, Bizmirot, Nariah lo, Nikad Mafanav, Betoda, Bizmirot, Nariah lo, Lechuna Ranana, l'Adonai Nariah, Litzur Yishenu, Litzur Yishenu, Lechuna Ranana, l'Adonai Nariah, Litzur Yishenu, nekad mafanov v'toda bizmirot nari alo nekad mafanov v'toda bizmirot nari alo lechu neranena ladonai naria litzur yishenu lechu neranena ladonai naria litzur yishenu
This one is not in your book. Go. Go for yourself. Go with yourself. Go to yourself. Go by yourself. But always, always walk in the direction of God. Walk in the direction of adventure. Walk in the direction of prayer, joy, and wonder. The direction of questions and mysteries. The landscape of eternity. The horizon of your heart. We continue now welcoming the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi, page 138.
Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmianu Kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 2 Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki hi mekor haberacha Shabbat tefillah Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 3 Mikdash melech ir melucha Hafecha Ravach shevet Be'emek hamacha V'hu yachamol Alayich chemla Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Shabbat nekabela. Verse 9 Boi v'shalom ateret balo Gam b'simcha u'v'tzola Toch emuneh am segula Dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Continue on page 145 and then 144. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. יעמד יברח ידותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו. לילה מן כל ברכתו ושירתו תושבחתה ונחמתה דמרים בעלמה ואמרו אמן. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו תטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשוכבך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
This one's not in the book either. The sea calls to me to stand and wait for the miracle to happen, for the song that follows. Shall we wade into the water, buoyed up by faith and trust? Grab my hand, we'll cross together. Never to forget the bondage, for if we do, how can we help others break free? Hold my hand and take that first step as we reach freedom together.
There is a midrash that says the children of Israel were afraid when they got to the Red Sea and they saw it. And yet one single person, Nachshon ben Aminadav, had the courage to take the first step. He took that step and then another as the water came higher and higher on his body. And in the setting of Michamocha, which I share with you this evening, we think of Nachshon Aminadav, and when he finally gets the sea to part because of his faith, everybody joins in Adonai Yimloch La'olam Va'ed, and I hope you will too. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, noroti l'odo sefele, malchutecha rovanecha, pagi hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeli, 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 Anu ve'omeru
continue with Hashkivenu on page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'Hamitenu Amreinu L'Chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'Hamitenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Ushmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu L'chaim u'shalom Le'ata ve'olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'Hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'Hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. V'Hamidenu Shomreinu
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam b'ni u'ven b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'inafash.
We continue with the Amidah, beginning on page 164. Please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah Rab Le'Hoshia, Makshiv HaRuach, Umarid HaGashem. Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha HaGevurot, Umito Melach, Melech Mimid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanat l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom hallelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We continue on page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We take a moment for quiet personal prayer and reflection. Continue now, turning to page 371 for Mishaberach, for those who could use some extra healing. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. Gordon Ammon, Craig Ansier, Allison Appel, Michael Appel, Judith April, Michelle Avela, Rhoda Barr, Baracha Bat Bela, Neil Bishop, Chava Bat Hindalea ve'Avraham, Joyce Dolan, Gary Dubester, Esther Bat Leah ve'Gershon, Michael Favreau, Thea Fladwood, Marvin Freebert, Gershon ben Avraham Vasara, Gershon ben Chaya, Blaine Goldner, Arnie Hollander, Beverly Hollander, Dan Kaplan, Jeff Kohler, Jorge Kurganoff, Bob Landsman, Leah Bat Chekio Mordechai, Leah Bat Pesha, David Levy, Lenore Levin, Ron Levin, Harriet Marcus, Miriam Bat Devora ve'Yaakov, Mirit Shira Bat Sasha Leah ve'Ozer Chaim, Naomi Tamar Bat Masha ve'Shimon, Netanel Benyamin ben Tamar Chana, Ann Paddock, Keith Pignole, Peg Pignole, Rachel Bat Devora ve'Reuven, Rachel Bat Esther ve'Shmuel, Sunny Raymond, Evelyn Rosen, Will Sandler, Sasha Leah Bat Bailarina ve'Kisrael, Marcia Schulman, Shalom ben Rivka ve'Yitzchak Yosef, Gary Shovers, Carrie Silverstein, Leon Snap, Bob Teplin, Jay Weiss, Rebecca Zuckerman. And to those names we add Dan. Pam Zuckerman.
Cheryl Weisel and Charles Tiber.
Cheryl Weisel and Charles Tiber. Reverend Ella Gregory. Nancy Stillman. Nancy Stillman. Anybody else? And on Zoom, Edie, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Carol Gadd.
Thank you.
Carol Gadd.
Thank you, Edie. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and of spirit. May God grant wisdom and insight to those who bring healing. May God grant courage and comfort to those whose struggles continue. And together we say, Amen. Amen.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, kol habracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Husband and wife, dynamic duo, your walk-up music, Isaac and Rabbi Shana Brinjagar Bialik create new pathways into Torah, combining deep Jewish scholarship with comic books and hands-on art workshops for a unique take on traditional texts. Isaac cuts up comic books and reassembles them into paper cuts that explore the stories of the Jewish people. Rabbi Shauna adapts traditional Jewish concepts to a modern Reform context and brings that synergy to students of all ages. Together, they are Paper Midrash, and we are very excited to welcome them this Shabbat.
You always like to be on my left.
I usually get to stand on the right, so we'll see how this works. I do prefer this side.
For
Shabbat
like-
Shalom.
Yes, Shabbat Shalom. For 30 some odd years, you always want to be on my left.
I do prefer it.
We're also both left-handed, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rabbi Shauna Brinjigard-Bialik.
I'm Isaac Brinjigard Bialik.
If you can't tell, we've been married for over 30 years, and we've been teaching together just about that long,
Yeah, it's
a
true.
little bit longer. So this is the time of year when everybody's thinking about monsters and demons and witches. And while Halloween is not a Jewish holiday by any stretch of the imagination, as Americans, we are completely surrounded by it. We flew in this morning. All of the people working at the airline were in costumes. All the people at the rental car place were in costumes. It was hard to forget that it was Halloween with so many adults dressed up. Human beings are prone to superstitions, and Jews are no exception to that. We are a very superstitious people. We just try to pretend that we're not. We have a really long history of Jewish magic and superstition with ghosts and demons and witches and monsters. In fact, medieval German Jews believed that there was a night every year where the dead would rise out of their graves. It wasn't Halloween, it was Hoshana Rabbah, which is the holiday that comes at the very end of Sukkot. And because it's a Jewish story, what do you think they did when they rose from their graves? They prayed. Because of course they did.
So, of course, Jews are not the only people that have these stories. Everybody loves a good story with a witch. So when the two come together, as they did in this MCU TV series, WandaVision, and for those of you who don't know, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, is canonically Jewish, depending on which canon you believe in. So what an exciting opportunity for Jewish nerds like me to enjoy this show. And if you've been watching the spin-off, Agatha all along, we have not only that Jewish witch, but we have this young Jewish witch, Billy Kaplan, a canonically Reform Jewish superhero who is also the recipient of witch-like powers. In fact, his superhero name is Wiccan. And I should say that's a real Reform rabbi there in the TV show helping him with his bar mitzvah. So really it hits all those high points for us. It's got Jews, it's got witches, it's got Marvel comics. What's not to love?
Right. The Torah is really concerned that we might follow witches and tells us very explicitly in more than one place not to tolerate a sorceress. But it's this prohibition that leads us to a ghost story in Tanakh, in the first book of Samuel, about Saul and the witch of Endor. Not this Endor.
This one?
Not Endora either, but that is where her name comes from.
And she is a witch.
She is. But this is about Saul. Saul is the first king of Israel. In the first book of Samuel, King Saul bans all witchcraft, according to the verse we just saw, in an effort to please God. However, when the Philistines are attacking, he's facing a very large battle. He reaches out and he's not getting any answers from God. And he's so distraught, he puts on a disguise and he goes and visits the witch of Endor. She is a medium and he asks her to raise the prophet Samuel from the dead so she can speak with him. She's not thrilled about doing it, and as soon as she recognizes Samuel and that this is the king, she does it anyway. And Samuel's not happy about being raised either. And in fact, Samuel tells Saul that he and his sons are going to die the next day, and they will be joining him in death very, very soon. For Saul, who is grieving his mentor, the prophet Samuel, his grief is so strong and he feels so lost that he turns to witchcraft and the raising of the dead and ghosts in order to get some answers. His story, much like the WandaVision story, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling that, if you haven't seen it, you should watch it, is very much about grief.
Now, Wanda Maximoff's grief is such because she is dealing with the loss of her children and the pending loss of her husband and the world that she has left behind. And she, in fact, turns to another witch who takes advantage of her grief and her situation and places a stolen human who is disguised as her brother. It's all a canard because, in fact, this man is possessed by an evil spirit who has taken over his body. It's something we call a Dybbuk, but you may know a Dybbuk already from Jewish tradition, right? There's a famous Yiddish play from the early 20th century called The Dybbuk. For those of you who aren't familiar with the play, back to the Marvel universe. So Spider-Man, he gets this black suit from an alien planet. Turns out it's an alien symbiote, and it controls him and makes him do things he doesn't want to do. That's what a Dybbuk does. It takes over your soul. Now, we see this Dybbuk story in all sorts of culture. We see it in plays, we see it in movies, we see it all over the place. And it's because it's this interesting story. In fact, you will even find, if you look for it, there's a story about an eBay hoax involving Post Malone and a Dybbuk box and its curse. Fascinating stuff, all from that Jewish story.
Right, because according to the rabbis, a Dybbuk is a type of demon. More specifically, they are a clinging demon, and even more specifically, the thing they cling to are people or souls. Because for the rabbis of the Talmud, the world was filled with demons. In Talmud Berachot, the rabbis say demons are everywhere. And if you were to open your eyes and be able to see all the demons around you, they say nobody would be able to survive it or be able to handle the sheer number of shadim, demons, that are around them. Because the rabbis understood that demons were everywhere, they understood that most maladies also came from demons. So if you wear clothes and they get holes in them, even though you're not doing physical work or going outside, that's demons. If your knees are sore, even though you haven't exercised, demons. And if your feet hurt, even if you haven't been walking, also demons. The rabbis assumed that demons popped up everywhere, especially at times when we're vulnerable, maybe uncertain, times of life cycle transitions, and moments of celebration. So, the real reason we break a glass at a wedding? Demons. Truly, the thought was that this would scare demons away. Now, I have to add this. The rabbis of the Talmud hated that and went back and said, no, it's because of the destruction of the temple. But even they have to admit this is why it started. We are a very superstitious people. The most famous demon, perhaps, in Jewish tradition is Lilith. You may have heard of her as a feminist icon. Lilith magazine got started in, the 60s, the 70s. But her origin is a little bit more sinister, and the midrash about her creation are not quite as positive. Lilith is both the first demon and also the very first woman. There are two stories in Torah of creation, and the rabbis understood that these two different versions of the story, the first story where God creates man and woman together, and the second story where God creates woman out of Adam's rib, that these were two stories talking about the creation of two different women. And that first woman was Lilith. She was Adam's first wife. And he was not happy with her because she thought she was his equal. That is why she becomes the feminist icon of Lilith magazine, and Lilith Fair too, probably. And she wasn't happy with him either because he didn't want to treat her as an equal. So she left. Her demand for equality is what makes her that icon, but in the Midrash, the rabbis turn her into a demon. And they make her a really scary demon. Lilith doesn't get the opportunity to be the mother of all humanity like Eve is. And so instead, she becomes the mother of all demons. She gives birth to hundreds of demon children every night. And the scariest thing about her is that she is a demon who steals the souls of infants. Lilith is the personification of our vulnerability during pregnancy and childbirth. And she is the face of the fear and anxiety of having a newborn. She is the reason parents wake up in the middle of the night just to see if the baby is breathing. But there is a way to protect ourselves from demons. Like maybe you've seen someone tie a red string on their wrist, and I have to admit, and I'm married to the least superstitious person on the planet, we did have a red string tied around all of our children's cribs 20 some odd years ago. But an easier way is an amulet. So the rabbis understood that amulets, especially using demons' names, and we have traditional Jewish amulets, would keep demons away. So if you use the names Senoi, Sansanoi, and Samangalath on an amulet, that is a way to keep Lilith away from newborns. Amulets give us an opportunity to take back some power in situations where we really don't have one, where we feel like we need protection and we're not sure what can protect us. So this is an amulet, a Jewish amulet from the 17th century, which is a long time ago, but not quite that long ago. If we go even farther back, more than 2,600 years ago, this is an amulet that was found in Jerusalem. This is a picture of it in the Israel Museum. It is some of the oldest texts. This is the verses of the priestly blessing, right? The same blessing that we give brides and grooms and children when they become bar mitzvah, or perhaps every Friday in your family. And this amulet, this 2,600-year-old amulet, was worn as a kind of protection. So we've been superstitious for a very long time. Just our lucky charms tend to have Torah in them.
Right, whereas when we see them in pop culture venues, they perhaps are a little sillier. So Scrooge McDuck has his lucky dime, Philip Fry has his, I believe it's a 6-leaf clover, right? Maybe it's the ring of power or ruby slippers. All of these things are designed to either protect the person who has them or to repel evil. Even Dr. Strange, you may know, he has the Eye of Agamotto that he wears around his neck. But Dr. Strange combines his devices, his objects, with hand gestures. And I can't help but see those gestures and think of the traditional Hamsa, which is probably familiar to many of you. It's a hand, sometimes with the thumbs out, or an eye, and I have created some of these in my work as well out of cut-up comics. This one is part of a piece that is exploring the Ma'ariv Arvim, which we just all said this evening. And the idea behind the Chamsa is, again, either protection for the wearer or a way to repel evil.
Right, so we see the Hamsa symbol pretty much everywhere in the Middle East, and that's because it is ancient. And when I say ancient, I mean ancient Mesopotamia ancient. In ancient Mesopotamia, this was called the hand of Ishtar. This is why we see it across cultures, right? We see it in Jewish culture, we call it a Hamsa. In Islamic culture, it's the hand of Fatah. In Middle Eastern Christian culture, it's called the hand of Mary. That we have this kind of symbol that we see all over because it is part of human nature to want that protection. Now, the Hamsa specifically wards off the evil eye. The evil eye comes from jealousy. There was a belief that if someone saw you getting something good or wonderful and they were jealous, they could put a curse on you in some fashion. So if you've ever, or if your grandmother has ever said Kenahora or poo 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 after telling you something good happened, I see lots of nodding, right? Or tu 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 after something good happens. That is one of the ways we repel and protect ourselves from that evil eye that someone might place upon us.
Now, there are not just the evil eye, not just these jealous evil curses. We do have mystical creatures and beasts. So you may have heard of the Leviathan, which we read about in the book of Jonah. I don't know if there's any great sea creatures here in the lake nearby or in no, there isn't. No sea creatures.
There's no sea monsters in the lake stories?
You need some better stories. But whether it's the Leviathan or the giant bird that we call the Ziz or the behemoth, right? We have all these mysterious creatures. And there's also one that is straddling the line between being a monster and being a protector, and that's the golem.
Right, so the legendary Golem of Prague was created supposedly by Rabbi Judah Loew, the Maharal, and created the golem to be a protector of the Jewish people of Prague. And it really speaks to our experience as Jews, that we created a mythical monster to protect us from the very real monsters and dangers in the world around us. Golems are prototype superheroes, and if you're in high school, we're going to do a lot more of this on Sunday. But golems are used for protection in many Jewish stories. They are not monsters generally in Jewish tradition, but they have informed monster stories, including a very popular one this time of year, Frankenstein.
I believe it's pronounced Frankenstein. Anyone who wasn't a Gen Xer, you're going to have to ask your parents or grandparents about that. But no, Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's book about Frankenstein, the modern Prometheus, was inspired by the Golem story. She heard a Golem story from the Brothers Grimm. Yes, those Brothers Grimm. She loved the Golem story, adapted it into Frankenstein. And yes, not only Frankenstein, this monster, but also, all of the superhero comics that we have today were created by Jewish kids in the early 20th century in America who grew up hearing about the Golem, hearing these other Jewish stories.
Right, and superheroes in general seem to deal with our fears and anxieties, looking for something that has supernatural powers. But ultimately, this is all Bubba Mises. For all of the concerns about witches and demons and Dybbuk, there's a really easy way, according to the Talmud, to avoid them. And that's if you are not worried about demons, demons are not worried about you. We do have that element of practicality along with an intense superstitious nature. In case you accidentally think about demons, another way to protect yourself is to recite the Shema. So if anyone who joined us in prayer this evening, you are covered now. But ultimately, Jewish superstitions about the dangers of witches and demons are about how we face uncertainty and vulnerability as human beings, and how we take control of the things that we are afraid of, and how we regain a sense of power over our anxieties. Because the world can be a scary place. There are very real dangers and fears and uncertainties. And we address these fears in story form with metaphors that we can fight against or defend ourselves from. And this can make it easier to imagine triumphing over our very real world fears. Superstitions about ghosts and monsters, along with amulets and hamsas, can help us deal with grief and anxiety, and can help us feel like we have some control. The Jewish way that we try to make this world less scary is mitzvot. We work together to make this world a better place. We do things to make our corner of the world less scary and to help other people, and ultimately to then create the world that we all want to live in. This week we read the story of Abraham and Sarah, who face uncertainty with faith. When God tells them to lech lecha, to go to the place God will show them, they have no idea what to expect. And they must have been terrified. But they have faith in God and in themselves and in each other. And that enables them to start this journey to the promised land. And along the way, they bring blessing to everyone they encounter. They are a model of faith over fear. Shabbat can also bring us an opportunity to set aside our fears for a little while, to truly relax and reset. One tradition says that one of the ways we achieve this sense of calm is receiving an extra soul that resides within us. So maybe like a positive Dybbuk, right? That we receive this extra soul that resides with us on Shabbat, bringing us a sense of comfort and freedom from our fears and anxieties, and a sense of wholeness and peace. So may our worship together inspire us to bring more good into the world through mitzvot. And may this Shabbat bring you that feeling of calm and comfort, strength to face the things you're afraid of, both real and imagined, and a true sense of wholeness and peace. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you so much. See, I did not sit near the front. Thank you so much. This is fascinating, and I am so excited about the rest of the weekend, where we get to do all kinds of things, and we get to try our hands at different art along the way, and it's going to be amazing. We are going to continue now in our Sidurim with Aleinu in the middle of page 586. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כעם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים יסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו השמיים יעל, ושכינתו זו, ושכינתו זו, בגובה ברבים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, וממלכנו לפסולתו, כל כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום, וידעת היום, והשבת אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר וירא אדוני המלך על כל הארץ, ויחרו ביום ההוא יהיו אדוני אחד, ושמו
Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We remember the family, friends, and loved ones of our congregation. When you hear the name of your loved one, we invite you to rise. We remember those loved ones of our congregation who have died recently. Beverly Kamen. We remember those who died this week in years past, whose yahrzeits are remembered this Shabbat. Andrew M. Alifson, Alvin Getz Baum, Bessie Becker, Jerome Harris Berman, Lucille M. Cohen, Madeline Dow Steingart, Isaac Deller, Harry Dwoskin, Samuel Ettinger, Edward Harold Fine, Harrison Harry Fishman, Duran Danny Gendelman, Rose Goldberg, Erwin Goldstein, Edwin I. Goodman, Francis Kronik Gottlieb, Esther Grodsky, Gordon Asher Grossman, Charles C. Heiken, A. Edward Hausman, Morton Kesselman, William Kesselman, Jacob Kissel, Roseanne Kashikow, Sarah Hinda Coleman, Harriet Bear Lee, Bedane Heiken Lerner, Irving Leon Levy, Rose Luck, Max Weinstein Mallon, Sue Elaine Mazer, Benjamin Painter, Gabriel Ponce, Joan Stern Perilous, Celia N. Perlstein, Lucille Birdie Rothstein, Sharon Rotter, Philip F. Rubenstein, Philip C. Schiff, Esther Schultz, Yaakov V. Schenker, Sarah Smith, Max Spiro, Philip M. Steinberg, Muriel Sweet, and Leon Zucro. If there are others you are remembering this Shabbat, please rise and share their names with us. Heidi Joan Sandler,
Jim Wilkinson, and Tyler.
Jim Wilkinson, Tyler Wilkinson,
Mike Kaminsky.
Mike
Kaminsky.
Kaminsky, thank you. And any additional names on Zoom? We also remember those who died in the Shoah, whose yahrzeit dates are unknown, those who have died defending our beloved Israel and whose bodies have been brought back in recent days for burial, and those innocent people who have been killed in violence around the world. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. We now invite the congregation to join together in the words of Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divarah chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'alam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yet hadar, v'yet aleh, v'yet halal, shemei dekudsha, brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved here and everywhere. As together we say, Amen. Amen. Please be seated as we turn to one of our trustees, Rini Cavalar, to share some announcements with us.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
What a wonderful, wonderful evening tonight. Thank you, Rabbi Shauna and Isaac, for just a very different and inspiring and educational opportunity to learn about various parts of our tradition. Thank you to Cantor for joining us tonight. It was wonderful to hear some different tunes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks to Bill Hendon for always accompanying us. It's been wonderful. Thanks to Bob Rasner and Adam Bertman and Larry Philibum for making sure that our video goes well. To Norman Sherry, thank you for greeting. There you are. And you can thank them by bringing your books back to them. Pulpit flowers tonight have been donated by Nancy and Thomas Malling in honor of their 6th wedding anniversary. In your bulletin, you will find a paragraph about SNAP benefits being stopped, maybe. We're not sure yet. There's been new things going on today again. But what we've seen, several of us work at the Jewish Community Pantry, and this week we basically had 100% increase in the number of people who came to the pantry Tuesday and on Thursday. It was unbelievable. And it was a lot of hard work, making sure that all these folks got the food that they needed. What we are asking of you, if you choose to do so, is bring some cans of soup to the synagogue and we'll make sure they get to the pantry. But even more importantly, cash is golden, because by going to people like Hunger Task Force and Feeding America, we can purchase much more food than you and I can purchase in the grocery store. So please do your part if you can. There are, every TV station in town has a blurb about how you can donate to whatever pantry you wish to. or to whichever organization you would like, and please do that. We are so happy that Rabbi Shauna and Isaac will be with us for the weekend. There is room, I believe, for tomorrow morning for knives. What is it? Knives? I forget. Torah Story with Knives at 10 o'clock, followed by lunch. And then tomorrow evening, there is a social gathering across the street at Linden Gardens where we will be making a tapestry using our fingerprints, which should be really amazing too. There are many, many other things here in your bulletin. Please take it with you, read it. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. In response to some of the questions I have heard tomorrow night at Linden, please park over there, not over here. Do not run across Brown Deer Road in the dark. Please park over there. And the other question about Linden, we are inside at Linden Sculpture Garden. I know it's Linden Sculpture Garden. It's beautiful. It's also November in Wisconsin. We will be inside. Plan accordingly. Our closing song this evening is Adon Olam on page 625. We are going to be on theme, I have been told. Please rise and remain standing for the benediction.
I think you might recognize this tune if you were a fan of Mr. Alfred Hitchcock. Adon Olam Asher Malach בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נעשה וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה, והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשילו Bira, Billy, Rashid, Billy, Tafid, Lo Ha'oz, Ve'am Misra, Ve'u Eli, Ve'chaigo Ali, Ve'tzor Chavli, Be'et Sarah, Ve'u Nisi, Umanosli, Ve'nat Pumzah, Ve'yom Ekra, Ve'yado Afid Ruchi, Ve'et Tishan, Ve'a'ira, Ve'imruchi, Keviati, V'adonai li, Ve'lo ira.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
If you are staying for dinner, we will be in Sirlo Hall when you make your way down that way. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. They did better than I did.
go by Barbie and Bear. We go by the Bears. Yeah. Too much.